Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So thank you all for joining us for our newest series of The Grounding. This one is called Realignment Reality. We basically came to this idea because we noticed that there's a lot of people who have there's studies that show that like people have different kinds of selves in different locations. Some people have like a personal self that they spend with their family. Some people have a self that they spend with friends. Some people have a self that they spend as professionals. And this is actually very interestingly a rather new phenomenon that happened as society has changed and people started to find themselves in different locations. I feel like some of you may have experienced this already with like code switching based in your environments. But as Muslims, we're supposed to have certain values that stay strong no matter where we are. And that's really what this title comes from. That's why it's called the Realignment Reality. It's about like realigning all yourselves with your religion and with each other. And I'm joined today by Dr. Lina Qazi, who is the founder of the Thrive Center. It's a third space for sisters at the HOA Center. She's also a medically trained doctor, so good job, Dr. Lina. A lot of my friends are suffering out there, so I'm pretty sure I think it's difficult. And so because her passion is about building community, and that's what this topic is about today, this week. It's about discovering your community. It's about like placing yourself in the right environment to thrive. It's about actually going out there and creating that environment for you and how you find it. And I also appreciate her jumping in to do this talk. She was volunteered by her husband. Shout out to that guy. I think that's just another incentive to get married. You can just, throw your responsibilities onto your spouse. So yeah, he sacrificed everything to make this happen. So thank you, brother Always Sheikh, too. And thank you, Dr. Lina, also. I'm actually a big fan of Dr. Lina. The first time I ever had a conversation with her was during Ramadan one time. She was just going to Tarawih. She was like focused on prayer, and then I just walked up to her. I'm like, "Are you Dr. Lina Qazi?" With like the same energy of some guy who just saw Zaynab like in public. And then she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, and then I just left. That was the end of the conversation. I just left. Yeah. Completely broke focus for all of the rest of prayer, but yeah, it was a great introduction, alhamdulillah, and that's what I think this is also a great introduction. So, without further ado, Dr. Lina Qazi.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I wanted to start off by just giving a little orientation to this series. So we have a 3-part series. I'm going to start with community. And realignment reality, what we're trying to do in this series is to go from misalignment, where you feel like, okay, what I'm doing for work and how I'm treating my family and what I'm doing for my being and my relationship to Allah, my contributions to the community, And this is kind of a rough example of misalignment, but they're all in separate areas, their own separate little bubbles, and you may be feeling one part more than the other on certain times of the year, and you may be lacking in other circles in a sense. But the goal, inshallah, at the end of these 3 series is to find that alignment, find where all of these can intersect and where you can achieve ikigai. Has anyone heard of that term, ikigai? Yes. So it's a Japanese term, and the definition is having fulfillment or what brings value to what you're doing in your life. So achieving ikigai, finding how everything in your life, what you're doing, how we can bring it closer together in alignment, not just in a worldly manner, but within a way that's pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So inshallah, that is the goal for this series. And this part, we're going to start with discovering your community. The next 2 parts, next week and the following week, we'll talk about discovering the self and discovering your purpose. So I wanted to start off by asking why you came here. Why are you here? What brought you here? And don't all answer all at once. Then I'll start with you. What brought you here? Why did you come?
Full transparency. Well, number 1, I want to support you. And number 2, I'm just inspired whenever I come to Rafa, just through conversations and so on. So it's the second reason.
Okay, I came here because I'm a member of the Forwarders team, but I'm also here to support you and to learn more.
Any other volunteers?
Well, I'm here for 2 reasons, which are part of the one reason, and that is to participate in this part of the process of becoming my own true self. It's like something that Anne Frank once said. She said, "I'm only trying to become the kind of person I wish everybody else was." So I'm trying to become Anne's kind of person, and I'm also trying to be, and I'm obviously being in the company of a room full of people who are similarly on that journey. And this is a journey which I believe that the Creator, blessed be He, has bestowed upon us all, and if we could share it with one another, so much the better.
Thank you so much for sharing. That was beautiful. I love that. Anyone else want to share before I go on? So all of those answers were, and we'll get back to me in a second, but all of those answers really sort of show the beauty of this community, the beauty of the Kahwa Cafe, the community that the team has built here. And this is something that I pulled from The Art of Community. So this is a book written by Charles Vogel. I love this book, I'm obsessed with this book. And it goes through 9 principles of community building and the importance of community. So when you're looking at some of these principles, he talks about creating a strong sense of belonging. So I'm sure that many of you came here felt like this is a place where I belong. I feel safe coming here. I know what to expect when I come here. Defining a community, communicating the community's purpose. So whether it's through through social media or through your friends or family or through Adam Center, we know that the Kahwa community, they communicate the purpose and what to expect. It defines clear boundaries, uses rituals to reinforce connection, fosters inner rings of commitment. Is this anyone's first time here? A couple of newcomers. So a lot of people are seasoned. A lot of people have been here in the past. So we have those inner rings of commitment that are important, not just to start a community, but to ensure that this community grows and thrives. So why am I talking about community? What's the importance of community? And there's so much, not just from worldly perspective and how we fight things like authoritarianism and fascism and how we grow along one another. But Islamically as well, this is part of our theme. As we know, isolation is Shaitan's strategy. The wolf devours the lone sheep. And as we're taught in the Quran, we're told to hold firmly to the rope of Allah all together. So in a sense, you know, we can't achieve there's a lot we can't achieve on our own. There's such an importance and the importance that is placed on community in the Quran. There's also a link to loneliness and the increased risk of premature death. So many of you may have heard about this loneliness epidemic. So with loneliness, it increases the risk of premature death by 26 to 32%. When I was growing up, everyone was concerned about smoking. Like smoking was the big thing, and there were all these billboards and ads that talked about smoking, how it kills, how it causes cancer, and they had all these huge campaigns. Now we're concerned about loneliness and isolation because many of us, myself included, can spend a lot of time at home just scrolling all day, doom scrolling, not really connecting with one another with purpose and intention. So as a result of that, we are seeing this increased risk of premature death. And then you may have heard in, the people that you surround yourself with, it can greatly impact how you achieve milestones at work. They say that you are the average of the 5 people you keep closest to you. So in a lot of work settings, you want to stay close to people who you see are achieving, who are growing, who are trying to make that space better and improve that space. And then, of course, community it's not a luxury, it's a foundation. So high trust communities experience lower crime, better health, higher resilience. And this was mentioned by Robert Putnam. He wrote Bowling Alone. Has anyone seen, there was a documentary on Netflix, Join or Die. Has anyone seen that documentary? So it was a very interesting documentary that talked about how people in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, they noticed a decrease in the bowling leagues. Specifically, he was looking at bowling leagues and how there was a drop in participation and a drop in attendance. And he was arguing that this is actually eroding democracy. And so it goes through this whole study of looking at the fall or the decline of democracy and the rise of extremist views and some authoritarian views, fascist views, just because of that breakdown in community. So many reasons why we're trying to bring back community, the importance of building a community, and why I love the Kahwa community, because it does such a fantastic job of not just creating this open, safe space, but inshallah, they work hard to make sure that this is something that will continue on for a long time, inshallah. So I will talk a little bit about myself and share my story and how I ended up here in front of you guys. So my background, I am a family medicine physician, and I was working in a system where I felt completely unfulfilled, completely burned out. I was told to just order labs, order scans, send medications, spend 2 seconds with my patient, and then move on to the next one to generate more revenue for their practice. And at one point, I remember I was driving to work, and I just stopped the car and I just started crying, because I was like, I spent years and years of my life studying, taking all these exams, sacrificing time with my friends and family, to become a physician, to achieve such a high, prestigious spot. And I thought that would be it. Okay, once I got the degree, once I got the job, I'd be so happy, everything would just fall into place. And that wasn't the case at all. And so I stopped, I was crying, went to work, my face was a mess, and they were asking, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, it's allergies. And I realized that this isn't something that's sustainable. It's just not, I can't live the rest of my life working in a system that puts profits over my patients, working in a system that doesn't truly believe in healing, that doesn't help me help others heal. Because at the end of the day, my desire was to help people, which would in turn give me, inshallah, the blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the rewards from helping and healing those people. And so, I hit that spot. I continued to go to work, dreading every single day that I'd go in. I'd have anxiety, panic attacks in the middle of the night. Like, what am I doing? The money is good, yes, but it's just not giving that fulfillment that I expected. I wanted to help the world and heal the world. And then subhanAllah, COVID happened, and I was furloughed, and so I was forced out of actually this horrible toxic position, and that gave me time to kind of reevaluate what I was doing and find that alignment, realign my beliefs, my being to what I wanted to achieve in this world. And so they called me back 2 weeks later. They said, hey, we have a spot for you. I went for 1 day, and I'm like, no, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I left. I just started my own practice. It was a very difficult journey. They say if you build it, they will come. That's not true. If you build something, it doesn't mean people are necessarily going to come. You have to build a community around it. You have to build that know factor, that like factor, that trust factor, and that all comes along with what we're talking about today, which is community building and the importance of building. So after creating that community, that's what brought a lot of people in. That's where I started getting patients and being able to practice the way I wanted to practice. So I got to spend an hour with them. I got to help them come off their medications. I got to help, do exactly what I set out to do in this world. And alhamdulillah, that brought me fulfillment. And that brought me some extra time on my hands, which is what led me to Thrive Center. I was initially offered the space. I was told, hey, we want to open a med spa. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. I know nothing about med spas, but let me just try it. And when I got the space, I actually brought in the community. I was like, well, what do you need? What do you want to see here? What's going to bring you joy and rejuvenation and relaxation when you come into this space and when you leave this space? And that's when I really saw that want and need for community. Like, women were just saying, hey, we need a place to connect with one another. We want a place to be vulnerable with one another. We want a place to heal. And I'm not just saying it's just women. I'm sure that there's spaces for men too. But this is what this is the space that I had created. It is a space exclusive to women. And through that third space, Thrive Center, and being able to host lots of women, host lots of events, and beginning to build that community, that's what brought this passion of community building and what actually pulled me into this talk today. So that's a long-winded story about my journey from physician to community builder to being here at the Qahwa Center. Okay, so when it comes to the community building, and I know we've gone through all of these and how Qahwa is doing a fantastic job of this space. I actually wanted to hear from you guys. What time is it right now?
8:04.
So we have about 15 minutes. Okay. I think we have a little bit of time. So if we can go ahead and get into groups, I have 2 prompts that I want to talk about. So the first one is share a time you felt true belonging. Like, what was it about that time that made you feel like you belong? Was it the space? Was it the people? Was it how an individual acted with you and interacted with you? And then the second prompt is, what is one reason young adults avoid joining communities? Because like I said, there's a loneliness epidemic, and so we're noticing that less and less people are becoming part of communities and wanting to get together. So if we could get in groups of 5, you can just rearrange the chairs, and then I'll give you guys 10 minutes, inshallah, and then we'll try to get to a couple of answers before we break for Maghrib, inshallah.
Yeah. Zach? This Oliver, how are you? And this. Come on, bro. How have you been? What is one reason young adults avoid joining communities? My personal answer is that I'm just kind of a person of habit. Like I just go to work, I come home, and I don't really do anything else. So that's kind of my personal reason. Like basically no reason, but I feel like in general, I think social media is the main reason. Pretty much everyone just on their phones. TikTok has sort of become like the town square for Gen Z basically, and so pretty much people are just replacing real social interactions with social media, and I think that's sort of the reason why. It's in our heads, it's sort of replaced community, but I feel like we're getting to a point now we're starting to see all the drawbacks of it, and are just kind of bringing these third spaces back, and more young people coming back. So yeah, I think it's pretty much mostly social media. That's the reason.
I think that's really perceptive, and it's not that there's something wrong inherently with social media, but it provides the feeling of being connected and is not the reality. Exactly. And the question arises, have we not been raised in a society, certainly beginning since World War II, where we are taught to live and get satisfaction from all sorts of illusory valuable things like possessions, reputation, extra money. I think it was newsprint the average now has 10 times the number of possessions than they had at the end of World War II. And are we any happier, any more connected, any more involved? That reminds me, the word involved to me triggers a scene in a certain movie. You've probably heard of a movie called Rebel Without a James Dean was in it. That movie was made in 1955. And that is 60, 70 years ago. And it's a real precursor to what people have experienced ever since. I think I've got it copy in the house. I could read it sometime. But there was a scene in there in the middle of the night, the young teenager was confronting his parents at 3 in the morning. He had just gone through a group of teenagers who played what they call chicken, and would drive 2 cars that race each other towards the edge of the cliff. And the person with the turn aside is chicken. big deal in Italy. One of them brought his sleeve in a door handle and went over the kid's eye. And so he had to explain to his parents. His parents said it really still to this day. He said, the father said, well, don't worry, we're not involved. So Jim turns to me and says, fear of judgment. And it's become easier to forget these things over decades. Now we're beginning to remember. The fact that we have this here tonight is a sign that we are beginning to
The fact that they're there
Right.
in the first place, regardless of how they come, says a lot.
I think what you said speaks to kind of this treadmill of consumption where we have to keep doing things, we have to keep consuming, whether it's on social media, whether it's having possessions, whether it's engaging in thrill-based things like driving a car to a cliff and then seeing it's like we keep doing these things to associate some sort of attention, your best goal, comfort. We all have these days and we keep doing things that give it to us temporarily, and there are great risks that come with those. Instead of building meaningful connections that maybe are comfortable in the beginning, but in the long term, they're going to actually be more important in the long term.
What do you guys think true belonging means?
I think it has to maybe do with understanding. I think belonging and understanding are together. If you have a group of people who you feel truly understand you, your values, the person that you are, I think that's very close to feeling belonging.
So where you can be your authentic self for a shared purpose?
Yeah, like a shared purpose of values, someone who really understands what drives you, what your values are, understands what person you are. They don't have to be like you. I've met Muslims where it's like, I feel like we've never seen eye to eye and there's not a connection. I've had certain non-Muslim friends where even though they don't think like me, or they don't have the same values, they respect my values, they understand my values, and they're talking to me and we're able to have this conversation. I don't think it's about having like similar, it's about having people that respect me.
And where would you say you found that?
I mean, I do find it in high school, but I think lately I'm finding more I mean, everyone you talk to, you're not going to have feel belonging with, but I think you have to risk that. You have to talk to different people and see where you come
Yeah, pretty much you just got to open up a little bit. Like, obviously, don't trauma dump on anyone because you're kind of lose aura from that. But if you open up a little bit to other people, then you'll be able to see where you truly belong.
Being open is like, it's very daunting. You know, you have to risk going out there and talking to people. I was gonna say judgment. I think we're actually gonna they kind of feel like they're out on the island. So I think it's much more, even though we haven't fully understand exactly, or we can't exactly relate specifically what you're doing, you can still accommodate and incorporate understanding. So even if you feel like, my problems and everything I went through are so deep, you can still find ways to as long as you don't share.
I guess the like from your perspective, a place of true belonging is like not just your safe space, but your safest space, kind of. Where you can bounce, you can say anything to each other, and they'll be okay with it. You can open up about a higher feeling, and they'll understand and raise you up. And,
also have people who want the best from you, who want the best for you, and they're charitable. If you say something that maybe it's offensive or it's a joke or something, they won't take it personally, and they won't see it as like, oh, this is ridiculous of their character.
Right, yeah.
No, we're going to tell you, okay, this is person, just take us over X, Y, and Z. You know, regardless of what this person does or says or acts, I'm still going to look out for the future and the best for them. I want the best for them. I think that's important.
Interest about young adults or anyone who's like,
but at the same time, I think it's effective too.
I also think that there's a lot of alternatives today. Before, if you didn't have a direct community, you couldn't survive. Like the most extreme. There wasn't enough stuff to pacify you. You didn't have all this technology to waste your time. Nowadays, there's so many options available to you.
And with ChatGPT,
Other than you can talk to AI.
talk to AI, you don't have to.
there's a lot of distractions.
Yeah, distractions. Before you would just be lonely or something. Now there's a lot of different ways to pacify yourself, so you don't really have to risk putting yourself out there.
The thing about AI is that AI, there's no judgment. Because AI is just gonna, you know, it's gonna morph itself to. Don't judge it.
It's going to tell you right, yeah.
It's gonna change. Here, there's a risk. I don't know what everyone's gonna see. I don't know what they're doing with their things. Or other like online forms of it. I can predict what's going to happen. And so why would it work? Talking to real people. Like go on here, some sort of where I know there's
Or like afraid of being vulnerable
yeah.
and being judged.
There's a certain satisfaction that we get in doing things where we can't always foresee the outcome. We cannot impose our desires and our fantasies. Perhaps on the AI, I'm never engaged myself. So I have no experience of it. I understand it goes through all sorts of options and sorts them out and presents an image that goes about it.
Yeah.
And when we sit down and have the kind of conversation that we have here, I feel really blessed because there are certain things that I think we have in common, certain interests, certain qualities, certain fundamental layers, and we can count on that. But we can also count on not being able to account what each person's experience, etc., throughout X number of years of their lives. And your judgment that we make from time to time, right here in the moment, we can't always predict that, and I think that's a great thing, because I'm learning and I'm growing. I can't sit down and order a cup of coffee without being challenged to learn and grow around this place. Even in the
When it's online, you can challenge people, but you're hiding behind an avatar.
Yeah, you can just close the laptop.
Yeah.
You're not engaging in that interpersonal way like we are in person, and reading people's reactions and empathizing. I think empathy is.
I also think to some extent it's good to be challenged.
Exactly. How else do we grow and learn?
It's good to have a conversation. At least with someone who's like respectful and charitable, they don't say, oh, I'm arguing with this person. We're just arguing the points.
These arguments, arguing online, and it's ego driven.
But I think it's good when someone's like, maybe think about it this way, or maybe think about it this way, this share their perspective. I think that's good and that's constructive.
Yeah. Whereas like online, pretty much you can really surround yourself with people. Yeah. That like always agree with you, never challenge with you. But also oddly enough, like you can't really open up to it because I feel like people online are more likely to use something against you later, kind of thing. It's like screenshotting and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, online, the conversations, well, I guess the best interaction conversation I have are people I already know, and I meet in person, or if they're, like, I have my best friends up in New York, Long Island, we had to share a childhood, and we visit each other, and but like, it's just like, you know, so many people are just arguing for interactions online, they've never met, they're not, I think it's relationships are grounded, in like shared experiences that are alive.
You don't even see them as a person. It's just like,
There's a survive the consequences if you don't see it.
Exactly. It's a lot. It can be dehumanizing.
Yeah.
People can put in an anonymous profile and say whatever. There's no
MashaAllah, I think there's been some amazing conversations and we're running close to Maghrib. So we'll wait, inshallah, to reconvene after Maghrib and share some of the discussions that you all have been having. And I'm excited to hear from all the groups, inshallah.
I've got to have
What's the name, by the way? I always see you around here. Could you open your thing? Charles.
This is Bangladeshi.
Because I was working so late, but I'm like, I need to like prioritize. I was very, very tempted to text out and be like, can I just do like an impromptu one trip? But then I was like, no, maybe I should just do like, I don't know who's gonna show up last minute. That's like a long
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think because we all have like
Yeah.
fear of what if
I was like, I'm just not gonna think about it too much. I just like name one or two things and like, you know, call it simple and stuff.
I honestly couple
But honestly, I'm so glad you're here now. Yeah, exactly. But how did it look for you?
You know what I mean? And actually, no, like before West Virginia. Even and it's like the third day, and I'm so used to getting up late.
No, I get what you mean. I feel like it's such shift in generation growth. And I like Marshall Tabarka, especially with like Gen Z and baby under crowds, I'm like, are you doing like I'm more of a late millennial? So like you grew up with the
Do you drive with
sometimes
other
like people
people?
don't speak like you, like those people could be your experience of oh don't say anything,
It's for like,
you know, you to yourself.
Oh, okay. But you're going because you're feeling good for that.
Yeah, the one generation.
Oh, okay.
Without
But you know how
fear
to
of
do like the job.
So no, I feel like something
But
that
it's okay.
I mean, I'm still learning.
think about now, like with everything that's been happening with like Palestine, or like all these different countries, like all the atrocities that are happening. I'm like,
Okay.
as long as I
So
can
do you just-
respond,
I
even
guess
if
for
it's
that
at
it's
like,
like,
let's say I lose an
is
opportunity,
it mostly
like I
like,
should
like, I know
allow
it's
us to
prescription of medication,
as
but
long as
it's
you can
it is.
So true.
Oh, yeah.
It is hard to do it in practice because I feel like, yeah, don't care anymore. I think, like she was saying, like I honestly was afraid of coming to me because I haven't been in a city. I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to rush friends. But I told my husband, I was like, I'm just gonna come see it because I was really interested in the people who need to see it. I feel like we all feel lonely a lot of times in certain ways.
Yeah.
It's good to have more women.
After college, it's like a treatment that like they all just want to do. Like she said, you know,
Yeah, you have to find it. That was literally my goal. There was like I'm gonna meet other like-minded women that's why I'm gonna do more art thing because I love writing. I used to like back in the day, I'd say before.
Like a proper, like long procedure.
What's the word? I didn't like full on like draw. I never got to that stage. I never got to that stage. Much less the rest of her, but I was looking at what I'm doing just for the kind of my little painting.
It's like candy my cartoon masters.
I'm like, I need to get back into my
So how much therapy is done with, like how much with psychiatry? I know her dad is.
I was just like,
yeah.
Oh,
I just like, yeah, the fear of like
I'm sorry.
taking that.
I'm sorry. I was driving.
Maybe it's always the weather something else.
And I thought I totally done like just not on purpose. Just, you know,
I feel like that's like stigma.
but I was actually like, oh, like I'm so